Welcome to Freda Chando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. The four commissioners who disowned the final results of the IEBC that was announced by the chairman of Wafula Chebukati are under siege. Led by Juliana Cherera, the four commissioners, just a few minutes before Chebukati declared the final results, popped in somewhere in Cherera and gave a brief information, briefing the media, that the results that were about to be announced by Chebukati were opaque. They said that they had participated in the process, but towards the tail end of this process, the verification and tallying was opaque. They explained that Chebukati could not listen to them. They wanted to verify a few things, but their request fell on dead ears. And so they said they were not going to be party to those results. There was a lot of tension in the country because the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is the body that is charged to give a credible, verifiable election. And people were wondering what was going to be given to Kenyans. Was it credible? Because 4 of the 7 commissioners had disintegrated and they were disowning the results. In fact, when Azimio petitioned the Apex Court and challenged the presidential results, there were 2 camps of the IEBC. The chairman, Mr. Wafula Chebukati, was represented by lawyer Gwidhi Muigai, but Team Cherera was represented by Paul Mwite, and they saw a separate affidavit. William Ruto won that petition, and even though he did not mention directly the fate of the 4 commissioners led by Juliana Cherera, this is what William Ruto said. He really praised Chebukati, and he said that Mr. Chebukati remained very steadfast and strong in the midst of intimidation. And he felt, because one of the affidavits in court was that Mr. Chebukati was being coerced to manipulate results in favor of Ruto's main challenger, Mr. Raila Amolo Odinga. But one person who did not mince his words was the chairman of Wafula Chebukati. He said that the conduct of the 4 commissioners led by his vice chair, Madam Cherera, was tantamount to gross misconduct. And he said that we cannot sweep this matter under the carpet and pretend that it is business as usual. In other words, Mr. Chebukati was saying that we should deal with Team Cherera. And so, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Masika Wetangula, announced to Parliament that he had received not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 petitions seeking to remove Madam Cherera and the team. The team is Justice Nyang'aya, Irene, Masit. There were 4 of them. What do you think is happening here, ladies and gentlemen? And briefly, the process of removing the 4 commissioners is very brief, because Section 254, Article 254 of the Constitution indicates that these commissioners can only be removed by a petition in Parliament. So the 4 petitioners have gone and they have said that they are seeking to remove Madam Cherera and her team. So what will happen? There is a committee that has been formed, and the committee are going to work for 14 days. During these 14 days, they are going to look into the charges against Madam Cherera, whether the allegations meet the threshold, because those petitioners must have credible accusation that meets the threshold, whether one or all of them, because they are going to be looked at individually, whether one or all of them should be ousted from the office. And Mr. Wafula Chebukati'S, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, said that this committee is going to guide the National Assembly by way of comprehensive report. And he also directed the committee to allow Madam Cherera, Irene Masit, Justice Jangaya, the four of them, to appear before them either in person or by representation by a lawyer, so that fairness can be felt. He went ahead and even told them that cross-examination should be allowed, where Akina Cherera will be asking the petitioners questions. And so after this, ladies and gentlemen, the report will be tabled in Parliament, and in the National Assembly, parliamentarians will discuss this report for another 10 days. During these 10 days, they will be scrutinizing the report from the committee. And they can either drop it within their discussion in the National Assembly, or they will decide to now take it to the President, so that the President can form a tribunal. This tribunal will now look directly into the conduct of these four commissioners as presented to them by the National Assembly. So if they give a report that either one or all of them should go, then they will go home. Looking at everything, ladies and gentlemen, do you think if this report goes to Parliament, what will happen? Because already the Kenya Kwanza team controls the majority in Parliament. And I have a feeling that the President wants these four commissioners to go. So in the event that he's given this report and is told to form a tribunal, the members of this tribunal will be members who have been instructed. They will be on a mission to ensure that they ouster the four commissioners. And that's why I'm saying that they are under siege. They are about to face the wrath of William Ruto. You know, when William Ruto was contesting to become the president, there were people who stood on his way. There are people who never supported him. To date, people like Fred Matiang'i, who was the former interior minister, Hilary Mutyambai, who was the inspector general, the former DCI George Kinoti. Those are people who really did not support his bid to become the president. And should I say the 7 million Kenyans who did not vote for him are also part of the team. So if at all the Cherera team are to go home, then what happens to the about 7 million people who voted for Raila Amolo Odinga, those who voted for Wajakoya? What will happen to them? Because I have a feeling that this is witch hunt against these four commissioners who dented the credibility of the IEBC and who cast aspersions into the legitimacy of the presidency of William Ruto. Because had they not come out and talked to the whole world, people would have not known what went wrong in the IEBC. So could it be that this is a revenge mission? In my considered opinion, this is a revenge mission. Because as you have seen before, all those people who opposed our president are now being followed here and there. You've seen Mr. Kinoti being investigated on some allegations that he headed some unit in the DCI which was responsible for killing people and dropping them into River Yala. So everybody who did not support William Ruto looks like he's now on a mission to revenge. Some of the petitioners said that Madam Cherera and the team failed loyalty test. And I was just wondering, should we be employing people into offices, people who are loyal to the executive, or people who can work without fear or favor? Ladies and gentlemen, tell me, what is the criteria of recruiting people, or what do we need from people who should be commissioners? Do we need people who will be loyal to William Ruto or to any other president who is in office, or people who can work without any favoritism? I have a feeling that we should relook into our constitution every day and provide a framework if we have to move on. There is also serious preparation for 2027, ladies and gentlemen. Already, the tenure of Chairman Wafula Chebukati, Boya Molu and Abdi Guliye should expire in January. And already the president has kicked off the process of replacing them. But recently something happened because they were seeking to change the 7-member committee that will be interviewing those who want to replace Mr. Chebukati. Because apparently, Parliamentary Service Commission should give 4 names, the Law Society of Kenya should give one name, and then I think the church should also give one name. But there was a proposal in Parliament that the Public Service Commission should also be included, and this really elicited a lot of reaction and sharp reaction from the opposition, which felt that William Ruto is up to no good. He is trying to, because he controls the Public Service Commission. So what the president wants is to ensure that as Chebukati goes home, he will replace them with people who are loyal. But he knows very well that the Cherera team will never be loyal, because these are the team that was recruited during the handshake period, and he feels that this still, owe their allegiance to Raila Odinga. So in case Raila or any other Azimio presidential candidate will contest in 2027, there will be a problem, because already they are 4. That will leave Ruto with only 3 of them. And so they will not speak with one voice. I had analyzed earlier that William Ruto will either remove the Cherera team or he will buy their loyalty. It seems he wants to do the latter. But do you think we should allow the executive to run away with this mischief? Because people fought to get a new constitution. Even during the second liberation, ladies and gentlemen, when we were fighting the one-party state where Nyayo could do anything, wake up and amend laws and do whatever they want, people have come a long way. There are people who shed their blood, ladies and gentlemen, so that we could liberate Kenya. The democratic space that we're enjoying today took people's lives. There are people who sacrificed their lives for it. We should note, Kenyans must not keep quiet, because if you look at all the countries that have risen up to dictatorial kind of leadership, it starts with one thing, and when the people are quiet, it leads to another. Today, you could be quiet because you are supporting Kenya Kwanza, and you will allow Mr. President to do whatever he wants. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, once he is done with the IEBC, he might go to the judiciary. And when he's done with all of them, they will be coming to you. Most of the Kenya Kwanza team who are going to social media to insult, to praise William Ruto and to support all these illicit actions will be in shock, because the next thing you will hear, they will be banning social media, or they will be gagging. They will be telling you what you're supposed to write. You will not have this freedom. And Kenyans must rise up, whether you are supporting Kenya Kwanza or Azimio. Let us unite together and condemn any ill motive against a fellow Kenyan, against any state officer. If you look at places like Uganda, it did not just start once. These dictators will try one thing, and if it succeeds, because what happens is that they will start by divide and rule kind of message, where they ensure that Azimio and Kenya Kwanza are sharply divided right in the middle. I remember sometimes back, Ndindi Nyoro said when they were still enjoying power, that Kenya needs a benevolent dictatorship, a benevolent dictator. And when there was they were not reading from the same page, now they were supporting William Ruto, they realized that they were being harassed allegedly by the other wing of Jubilee. And they were crying foul. Now when people were reminding them what they had said before, they said they regretted them. So let us be very careful. If there is something that infringes on the right of Kenyans, any opportunity that could lead to mutilation of our constitution, we should stand firm and rise up against it. Whether it doesn't matter your political affiliation. The Azimio One Kenya should rise up, because Cherera team sacrificed their job for them. They were standing for the truth. And so Raila Odinga and the team must protest that they should not allow this, because if this happens, the next minute, or the commissioners who will be there will not stand for the truth, because it will mean that when you stand for the truth, you lose your job. So I want to call upon the Azimio to ensure that they use every available means to bar these commissioners from being removed from office, ladies and gentlemen. And Kenyans too must rise up. When something is good, let us give credit where it is due. But if something is wrong, let us condemn it with the strongest term possible. From where you sit, do you support the ouster of the 4 commissioners, or do you think they stood firm for the truth? Share with me in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for watching.